Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, and we are not in our studios at the Capital Region International Airport, but in Studio B. You're all used to that by now. We are going to stay in the Lansing region. Laurie Strauss Baumer joins us right now. She's the president and CEO of the Capital Region Community Foundation. And Laurie, thanks for joining us. Good to have you on.
Great to be here, Chris. Thanks for the invitation.
You know, it's been a little while. I think last spring we actually talked about what we're going to talk about today. And we're looking toward, the new park, basically, after a 2-year delay, pandemic, all kinds of things permitting. Tell us about where the park is at.
Well, it's on the riverfront, downtown riverfront. It's in the north part of Adado Riverfront Park. So at the corner of Saginaw and Grand.
Okay.
So,
Very good.
yeah, that general vicinity.
So tell me about the steps to get, well, first of all, let's explain to everybody what it is.
Well, this is called a universally accessible playground, which means kids of all abilities will have access to everything. Doesn't mean they can use everything, that's impossible. But this park is different because normally you hear of ADA accessible playground equipment.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, that's like plunk down, checking a box for those kids. This is different. This is kids with disabilities playing right alongside kids that are able-bodied. And it's really cool because nobody feels left out. It's not just physical disabilities, it's also sensory and developmental. So those kids, there's things for every child, as well as the parents. Sometimes there are parents with disabilities and they can't play, they can't be with their kids while they're playing. They're kind of off to the side, but it's accessible to all.
Awesome. So what stage is it in now? Because I know there's been a few stumbling blocks, the pandemic, of course, being one.
Yeah, certainly the pandemic put a damper on things. We did a ceremonial groundbreaking in the fall of 21, fully anticipating that we'd get permitted in the spring and away we'd go. Unfortunately, the pandemic put a lot of strain on permitting processes. And when you're working on the river, it's a disaster in terms of getting approvals. And, we had soil borings and, just toxic soils here, and we had to remediate that. And so everybody's happy. And we got those permits. It only took us 8 months to get them, but we got them. So that wiped out 22 and put us solid footing for this year. But yeah, I was just out there yesterday. They've got cranes in the air. They've got piles being driven into the riverbank, getting ready for that dock.
So what's the anticipated finish date? I mean, I'm sitting here with my playground clothes on, getting ready to jump on the
You
monkey.
don't look like playground clothes. Nah. We are told, Wheeland is our construction manager, which they are fantastic to work with. Yeah. And they're on schedule to have the whole thing completed in August, late August. We'll do an early September grand opening. So we're pretty excited.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
Let's talk about how the project is being funded or made possible. Has the business community kind of stepped up or not?
They sure did. They sure love this project. It was all started by a woman who just loves these playgrounds, and they don't exist around here. She has funded nationally. She lives here. Has funded them nationally all across the country because she doesn't like the fact that kids with developmental disabilities are kind of not included. And so she came to us and said, "Hey, I got this great idea. Can you find a spot on the river for a playground?" And I said, "Yeah." So she's the one that started it. She wrote a nice big contribution, which then spurred us to say, we'll match that, and we're going to do fundraising. So every gift that we received from businesses and individuals was matched 1-to-1 by the community foundation. So it's quite an investment.
Wow, that's unbelievable. So the fundraising is still ongoing.
No, we have completed the fundraising. In fact, because of this new publicity of the opening, I've actually gotten a few more gifts that are going to cover some extra nice things. So we want this to be really cool, Chris. A destination from up to an hour's drive away. Families are going to find this very special.
Well, I got to tell you, this is going to, and I'd be surprised if it's only an hour because, like you said, there's not too many of these in Michigan. Period.
No, there's not. Yeah, the closest one is Grand Rapids.
All right. So what's next for the foundation? You always seem to have a project in your pocket.
Well, we've got several other projects that are planned for the riverfront. They're kind of under wraps, but there is some interest by Senator Sarah Anthony and Appropriations Committee, and hopefully we will we'll get a little bit of encouragement there. And lots of other corporate and individuals have expressed interest. So at the end of the day, we want a string of pearls on that downtown riverfront.
No, and you've got half the pearls done. I mean, with Rotary Park and the artwork and the walkway and now this, it's pretty incredible what's happening down there. We're finally utilizing our river in the proper way. And
you got it.
That. All right, kiddo. Thanks so much for joining us. Laurie Strauss Baumer, President and CEO of the Capital Region Community Foundation. We'll be back as this thing progresses. And thanks again, Laurie.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, you're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman.